Hi again, everyone. In the last video, we covered thumbnail basics, which really involved everything needed for your projects. This video is meant to cover some very simple drawing basics that may help you get more comfortable with drawing in general. Remember, this is a class where you don't have to know how to draw. However, if you continue through the graphic design program or any other art-based program, you're really going to want to take some drawing classes. So what are we going to do in this video? First, like I said, drawing basics, simple how-tos. And after that, I want to talk about some visual stuff. How to apply those elements and principles of design that we've been learning, how to apply them to your new sketching skills. Because we're only working on thumbnails, that's going to be a little limited. However, there are some things that are always important to mention when it comes to elements and principles of design. So let's talk about some of the drawing basics. I'm going to go through and just sort of give you some bullet points because this is such a huge subject, obviously, that we don't have time to even really start scratching the surface. But what I can do is give you some helpful hints, things that have affected me over the years and things that I consider really important in everyday use. The first is going to be drawing lines and circles and simple shapes. You got to practice it. Practice drawing them again and again and again if you're interested, and that's going to make them easier. At first, you're probably going to want to start with smaller and lighter strokes and build them into darker lines. That's how you can build up your line and build up your confidence. With enough practice, you'll be able to control your lines with single strokes. Move different parts of your arm for different types of lines. Moving from your wrist is fine for small and short strokes, but for larger and more fluid movements, try locking your wrist and moving from your elbow. Like with basketball, the follow-through is important. Follow the motion through when drawing lines. And move your page when needed. I like to draw with the page at an angle and then move the page around a little bit to compensate for the movement of my wrist or my arm. Hold your pencil properly. The tripod grip is what most of us use when we're writing, and it's good for small, precise lines with the tip of a pencil. The overhand grip, on the other hand, allows you to use both the tip and the side, which allows for a variety of widths. If you're having trouble getting good rectangle shapes around your thumbnails, try starting with dots. So what about pencils and pens? If you're going to use a pencil, start with a medium grade, like a 2H or a 2B. It's a medium weight, and it will allow you to achieve both light and reasonably dark lines. For a pen, you don't want a pen to bleed through the lower pages, so be careful with that, like with markers. And if you're going to use a pen, you really want to have a nice smooth line that will dry quickly and not smudge. To get backgrounds, since you're not working with a pencil that allows, for some easy shading, you can use cross-hatching or stippling to create backgrounds and dark shapes. And it's always good to avoid smudging by placing a piece of paper between your hand or your arm and the paper that you're drawing on. Now let's look at how to use drawing skills to obtain hierarchy in your composition. Remember, a composition is the arrangement or placement of visual elements in a design. And I want to establish hierarchy by creating focal points in my design. Focal points are key areas that the eye is drawn to. And the way my eye moves, or my eyes move through focal points, that's the movement or the flow of the design. In addition to creating focal points to control movement, elements like color and line and value are also used. Those can help lead us between the focal points. You can control hierarchy through some of the following. You can change the line weight in your drawing. You can use value to create light or dark shapes. Consider your light source. Where's the light coming from? Also consider the shape of negative space in your drawing. Think about size. Try one object really large and another one really small, then switch them and see how it looks. So in closing, just remember that your goal is to get a bunch of different ideas and a bunch of different concepts on paper. It really doesn't matter how you do it. If you like drawing, you'll get better with time.